You are my poetry in motion, someone I was boasting about. Nothing I would have changed in you, but then you slipped up and the truth came out. My emotions, someone I was boasting about. I made mistakes, you did me wrong. Now you got me singing this song, yeah.
Hi guys, this is your girl TTK. My name is Ttkjinadu. I am back again with Telling It Just the Way It Is chat series. So guys, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Just watch. Let's chat. Okay guys, I'm gonna start with a little story before I go straight to my point. Years ago, I was invited to a party. The party was for selected few. It was a birthday party organized in an hotel, Montcalm Hotel. I think the name was Montcalm. So we're in Marble Arch, Hyde Park, Park Lane, that area. If you live in London, not too far from the Mayfair area, central London. Nice, beautiful, well organized birthday party, but for selected. You're not allowed to come with a friend. Invitees only. As you get to the venue, the usher will take you to your seat where names were displayed on the allocated table. So a seat has been allocated to you at that venue. You can't sit anywhere else and you cannot come with a friend. So invitees only, strictly by invite. Jazzy kind of music was softly played, you know, no loud music. There was no way you could come with a friend. By 9 p.m. every invited guest was seated at their seats. I have never ever seen Africans so punctual. Normally, we Africans are usually late. I would say we, I'm not going to exclude myself, but for that occasion, everybody was punctual. People turned up early at the appropriate time. I mean, the celebrant did emphasize the importance of coming in early. He did emphasize on his invite that by 8:45 p.m. doors will be shut, the hotel door will be shut, and nobody will be allowed in. So I think people did listen to that. People obey. So by 9 p.m. we were all seated. So suddenly we heard this noise going on kind of outside, and we could, or I could, let me speak for myself, hear this woman's voice. You can hear it it was loud and clear, distinctively. Among the noises, you can just hear this woman, this like an elder woman's voice, coming in, emanating from outside into the venue. We can hear it because the music was very like softly played. So the celebrant dashed out of the venue. He went outside, and shortly after came back inside, but he looked kind of angry. And then the kind of elderly woman with two other women came into the venue. She looked very hungry too. Just before the MC was about to start, and she called the celebrant's name. Like I always say to you guys, I'm sure you guys are fed up of hearing this from me. The point of my chat is not to call out anybody's name, and this incident has been years. I just want you to see the point. Say for example, sorry, I'm about to use my my favorite male name that I used all the time, Shugo. So the lady called out Shugo's name, like, Shugo, come, let me speak to you, let me talk to you. She looked very hungry. She looked as angry as Shugo himself, the celebrant himself. So this woman, this mama, I'll say mama, this woman, because she's quite, she's older than every one of us at the venue. So this woman said, Shugo, please at least allow the two men in. That man is Woli. The other man is a prophet, so is the assistant prophet, Alagba, so and so. Before she could finish the last sentence, Shugo just raised his hand like, Mama, please. Everybody was watching, and the music was not loud, so we can all hear what was going on. The mama said that, remember when you have that problem, the two of them went up in the mountain praying, fasted for you for 7 days. 7 days. Everybody was listening. His sister quickly stood up and kind of ushered mama out, because everybody was listening. It was so loud. This man, remember when you have that problem, this man fasted for 7 days, went on top of the mountain to pray, went on top of the Ryoki and fasted for 7 days, 7 nights. The sister quickly got up, stood up, and ushered the woman out. Both of them later came in looking so angry, angrier than they left. And that was halfway through the event. They later came back in halfway through the event. But those two men and the others, they were not allowed in still. I don't know if they left. I don't know what happened to them. But we didn't see any of them came in. Apart from the 2 women that came in earlier with mama. Those ones were already seated at their allocated seat or table. Apparently, we now heard the full gist later. Back then. Talking about it right now just made me realize how I need to reconnect back with some of my friends, because I've not been in touch for so long. I've not even heard from this particular friend. I've not heard from a lot I need to reconnect back to my friend. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. It just made me just talking about it now just made me realize I need to reconnect with some of my friends. I haven't in like years. Okay, back to the subject. The full gist was that mama turned up at the venue with 12 people from our church. The top ministers, I think, which is the woli or the prophet she was referring to, from that to choir, from choir to the prayer warriors team, from the team to ushers, from ushers to choir leader, members, name it. Mama turned up with these people, and apparently the celebrant warned his mom not to come with people he did not invite. He allowed mama to invite 2 guests, and those 2 guests, their name are already on the list. So there were seats allocated for them. They had their table. But aside those 2, mama was warned not to come with other guests. But as you can see, mama has her own plan. Mama, this mom. Well, African moms. I think my point here is that I think people, especially relatives should respect the celebrant's wish. I know how African parents could be sometimes. Most times they don't mean any harm. Sometimes they just want more of their own people to celebrate with their relatives, maybe to celebrate with their daughter, son, or brother, sister, relative, but I still think we need to respect the celebrant's wish. Do what makes the celebrant happy. Okay, but one thing they're forgetting is that it's not all about them. Yes, you are related to the celebrant. You're the mom, you're the dad, you're the sister, you're the brother, uncle, whatever. But that day is about the celebrant. It's not about you. So we need to respect and do what makes the celebrant happy. Is this an African thing? Can you leave your comments below? I do realize the few people that watch me are quite diverse. I think I'm allowed to say I have people from all over the world. I get some Asians, some Chinese, they're still part of Asia. Some Chinese, Indian, they're still part of Asia. And I get some Africans watching me as well. So yeah, I think I'm allowed to say from all over the world for now. I would like to hear from you. Is this something that happens within your community or within your country? I just want to know if it's an African thing or a Nigerian thing, because it does happen with Nigerians, gate scratching. turning up with uninvited guests. With some Nigerian, I don't want to generalize it because there are people that will not do it. I won't do it. If you say no, invitees only on your invite, I respect that, because I do realize you need to respect the celebrant, which is very, very important. We have to realize that what we as relative, friends or family should be doing is supporting the celebrant, making the celebrant happy, not ruining the celebrant's day. I mean, going back to the story I told you earlier, there was a time, you know, not only was the mother trying to abuse that relationship, it was also trying to kind of blackmailing. You know, when you go back to my story, trying to remind him of when some certain people went on top of the mountain to pray for him. I mean, for my non-Africans and non-Nigerians, some churches do go on top of the mountain to pray. I think that it's mostly practiced in the Old Testament in the Bible, you know, Christian. In the Old Testament, some people stick to the culture. Some people did stick to the culture of going onto the mountain to pray. I think it's part of the Old Testament. It was part of the Old Testament. So that was what the mom was trying to say there, that these people went through the trouble of going on top of the mountain to like pray for him, so you should remember all that. But you know, he already had a different agreement with the mom concerning his party, so the mom shouldn't have done that. I think the mom the mom thought if she turned up with them and then say all that, maybe he would change his mind, but he didn't. To the mom's disappointment, he didn't. And I guess that was why she came back into the hall looking so angry. I'm sure she did not enjoy herself that day. She was looking so hungry. But the celebrant later calmed down, warmed up to everybody, because I remember he was going around, even with the sister, welcoming everybody, thanking everybody, appreciating people for turning up for that special occasion. But, I mean, my point here is that no amount of blackmail, blackmail should not be an option. Imposing your will should not be an option because you're in some kind of way related to the celebrant. No, just respect it. Support them. There was a time at the party or of that day that the celebrant was not happy. The celebrant was meant to be happy. The celebrant was meant to be full of joy. But the mother almost ruined a part of it for him, because there was a time that he was really, really looking so hungry and unhappy. And I do understand. It's not like the mom deliberately wanted to ruin the day for him, but it turned out like most times when people go against the celebrant's wish, the celebrant is not happy. And especially when there's more people. You know one thing, just looking around the hall that day, I do realize that we're not even up to 50. So he carefully selects the few people he wanted at his little events, and there's a reason why he wanted it that way. So people should be quite sensitive. I see this happen all the time, and sometimes I think it's sad. You know, I don't like it when people force their way, like you want to impose on people, force your wish on people. I want, you know, the celebrant is an adult. You know what you want for yourself. You know what makes you happy. So when you see people or relatives or family or friends, because it's always people close to you trying to like disobey, forcing their wish. He could have like hired a hall, because the venue this guy celebrated his birthday was quite expensive. So if he had gone for a hall, that would be cheaper, and you could maybe bring a friend of a friend. But for him to choose that venue, there's a reason why. And again, you have to think of the celebrant's pockets. And again, you have to think of the celebrant's pockets. There's no point. I don't see why, because you think you're related to someone, you should incur additional costs or expenses that he did not plan for. When somebody organized the party or organized a selected few kind of party, they have a budget, and they're working within that budget. You bring in an extra body will incur an extra cost or additional expense. It depends on what kind of gathering it is. Sometimes it could be in a restaurant and they said invitees only, or family only, or for selected few. Respect it. I mean, these things are shameful. For me, I find it shameful when people go against other people's wishes, especially when it's like a party or celebrant. I find it quite shameful, seriously. And these people are not ashamed. I think it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Seriously, I think it's wrong. Very wrong. And I think the same applies to those invites with no children allowed. You know, those invites sometimes can be opened. You could maybe, and I'm talking within the African community, how it works, because I'm not really sure how it works with the other community or with the other with people from other countries. I'm talking within like Africa or Nigerian. Sometimes when they invite you, or when they organize the party, they state on their invite, no children allowed. I think the same rules apply. There's a reason why the celebrant does not want children in their party. But some of those parties do allow you to maybe bring a friend, but they don't want children. To be honest, children can sometimes be very distracting, disruptive, running around the hall, you know, and they can be very wasteful with foods and drinks. So there's a reason why the celebrant don't want them there. And I think people, especially friends and family, needs to respect it. Over the years, one thing I do find, and I do realize, that some people can be very, very insensitive. That is when you hear some people complaining, if you don't want children in your party, why invite mothers or mothers with toddlers, blah, 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 blah. You know, those type of a thing. I think the celebrant is allowed to make decision or to plan or organize their party the way they damn fit want it, the way they like it, the way they want it. You understand? It's a free world, and I think it's what I have experienced before. You can't find a childminder or someone to mind your child or someone to take care of your child. I think you should just stay at home. I'm sorry, it might sound a bit harsh, but I think just stay at home. It is not by force. It is not by force. That party is not a do or die thing. I'm sure the celebrants will understand. It is not by force. Seriously, you don't want to be in a party that is meant to be maybe a corporate kind of party, and then you hear a baby going nya nya nya. There are places for different occasions. You know. I don't think bringing your child, your toddler or your baby to a corporate kind of party is an appropriate place. I seriously don't think so. So it's not by force. Just stay at home. You don't need to force it, and you don't need to complain or moan about everything. Seriously. I choose to talk about this subject because I've seen a lot, but I just want to like emphasize my points. I don't want to point figures or mention any name, but I think it's becoming an issue. Wedding is something I don't want to talk about because today's wedding is on a different scale. So with weddings, the children calls the shots. So I don't know how that is gonna go, but with weddings, some people do say, oh, the engagement will be for the parents, you know, like we Nigerians, we like to I think the mothers or parents on their wedding days are very proud of their children, you know, graduating, achieving, now getting married. They're very proud, so they want their people, their friends, extended family to celebrate with them. But today things are different. Things are like going towards another direction. The children controls the audience. They want more of their people, and when we think about it, it's about them. So, but I think some parents somehow have fashioned a different way of sorting out this problem. The engagement will be more of the family, which seems fair. The engagement, which is usually a traditional wedding in Nigeria or in Africa, will be more of the family members, more of the parents' friends to celebrate, dance, party, and do other, including the bride and groom's friend as well, but more of them, more about them. Then the wedding, the children or the bride can do whatever they want. If they like, they could do it in the moon, they could do it in the jets. If they like, they could go to Bali. If they like, they could go to the moon, they could go to Jupiter, Mars, and celebrate. The parents will fly with them, but will be more about them and their friends. So that sounds fair to me, but they call the shots. Seriously, they do. And that has caused a bit of dispute between children and parents. Like, what do you mean I cannot invite XYZ friends? And I do understand that. That's why I said I'm not really going to dab into that subject as for about birthday parties and, you know, little parties, celebrating, launching, and blah, blah, blah. I think parents, family, friends, brothers should respect the celebrant's wish, respect their wish. Don't disobey or decide to do what you think is appropriate because you're related to that person. Don't. You're abusing your power. You're abusing your relationship with that person. That is what you're doing. And you're making that person sad or unhappy or feeling a certain way on that day. Please don't. Respect, support the celebrants. Make them happy. Support whatever they're doing. So guys, okay, I think I will end today's chat here, guys, and I hope you enjoy listening to me. But I'm gonna end it by saying I hope you do get the point, and I hope people, Nigerians, Africans, do realize that most times when people are celebrating, no matter how related they are to that person, it's not always about you and your friends or your family or your extended family. It's about the celebrants. Respect their wish. And your priority or your aim should be about making the celebrants happy, supporting the celebrants, giving your best to make the day possible, not doing your best to ruin the day or to make the celebrants angry. I hope I've managed to put my message across. Please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. Like I said, thumbs up is like, and share. Do not hesitate to share my video. Please subscribe. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you watch to the end, God bless you. And if you did not watch to the end, God still bless you. But I would love you to watch my video to the end next time. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. Have a nice weekend. God bless you. Love you. Ta-ra.